Friends, today I am discussing about the most important chapter of science, class 8th, in which minimum 2 to 4 questions are asked in every exam, so it is most important. So let's start without wasting of time. Chapter number is 6. Chapter name is reproduction in animals. So let's start. Do you recall the process of digestion, circulation, and respiration which you have studied in your previous classes? What? These processes are essential for the survival of every individual. You have also learned about the process of reproduction in plant. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species. Imagine what would have happened if organism had not reproduced. You will realize that reproduction is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kinds of individual generation after generation. यहाँ पे ये बताया जा रहा है और पूछा जा रहा है कि आप इमेजिन कीजिए कि जब रिप्रोडक्शन नहीं होगा, रिप्रोडक्शन जो है एसेंशियल है, यदि रिप्रोडक्शन नहीं होगा, प्रजनन नहीं होगा, तो क्या होगा? यू विल रियलाइज दैट रिप्रोडक्शन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज इट इंश्योर्स द कंटिन्यूअस ऑफ सिमिलर काइंड्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स. जो ये पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी आ रही है, जनरेशन और इंडिविजुअल्स, जो जनरेशन टू जनरेशन पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी आ रही है, ये ख़त्म हो जाएगा और लाइफ जो है क्षणिक मात्रा में तुरंत ही ख़त्म हो जाएगा. गॉट इट? इसलिए रिप्रोडक्शन बहुत ज़रूरी है. इस अर्थ पे, इस भूमि पे मेंटेन करने के लिए इकोसिस्टम को, और साथ में जो जनरेशन, जो पीढ़ी, जो व्यक्ति या जीव जंतु हैं, उसके इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंस और उसकी पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी कंटिन्यूटी मेंटेन रखने के लिए रिप्रोडक्शन बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है. गॉट इट? नेक्स्ट, you have already learned in your previous class about reproduction in plant. Okay, in this chapter we shall learn how reproduction takes place in animals. Yes, modes of reproduction. Have you seen the young ones of different animals? What? Try to name some of the young ones by completing table 6.1 shown in example at serial number 1 and 5. You must have seen the young ones of various animals being born. Okay? Can you tell how chicks and caterpillars are born? What? How are kittens and puppies born? What? Do you think that these young ones looked the same before they were born as they do now? What? Let us find out. Got it? Here, table 6.1, serial number, animals and young one. Human, baby, cat, dog, butterfly, hen में chicks. Got it? Then cow, frog. Just as in plants, there are two modes by which animal reproduce. These are sexual reproduction first and second asexual reproduction. Got it? Two modes of reproduction. First, sexual reproduction, Second, asexual reproduction. First, sexual reproduction. Try to recall reproduction in plants which you studied in class 7. You will remember that plants that reproduce sexually have male and female reproductive parts. Okay. Can you name these parts? What? In animals, also males and females have different reproductive parts or organs like plant. यहाँ पे बताया गया है कि आपने क्लास 7 में प्लांट में जो रिप्रोडक्शन होती है उसके कुछ रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट को आपने पढ़ा होगा. गॉट इट. सिमिलरली जो एनिमल में रिप्रोडक्शन होती है उसमें भी दो होते हैं, सेक्सुअली रिप्रोडक्शन, मेल एंड फीमेल. इसमें भी रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट्स होते हैं. तो ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है, कैन यू नेम दिज पार्ट्स? इन एनिमल्स आल्सो मेल्स एंड फीमेल्स हैव डिफरेंट रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट्स. जंतु में भी मेल्स एंड फीमेल्स में डिफरेंट रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट होते हैं और ऑर्गन्स होते हैं, लाइक प्लांट के जैसे, पौधे के जैसे. द रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट्स इन एनिमल्स आल्सो प्रोड्यूस गैमेट्स दैट फ्यूज टू फॉर्म अ zygote. Okay. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction beginning from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. क्या कहते हैं यहाँ पे? लाइक प्लांट्स, पौधे के जैसे ही, द रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट्स इन एनिमल्स आल्सो प्रोड्यूस गैमेट्स, ओके, दैट फ्यूज टू फॉर्म zygote. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction beginning from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Let us find out the reproductive part. Got it? In human and study the process of reproduction in them. मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स, पुरुष के जो रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स होते हैं उसके बारे में देखते हैं. द मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स इंक्लूड अ पेयर ऑफ टेस्टिस. इसमें क्या होते हैं? एक जोड़ा टेस्टिस होते हैं. सिंगुलर टेस्टिस, 2 स्पर्म डक्ट्स एंड अ पेनिस. फिगर 6.1. गॉट इट? The testes produce the male gametes called sperm. Millions of sperm are produced by the testes. Look at figure 6.2, which show the picture of a sperm. Two sperms are very small in size. Each has a head, a middle piece and a tail. जो स्पर्म होते हैं तो स्पर्म बहुत छोटे होते हैं. गॉट इट? और सभी स्पर्म जितने भी होते हैं, मिलियंस होते हैं, सभी में एक हेड होते हैं, और मिडिल पीस होते हैं एंड अ टेल, एक पूंछ होते हैं. Does it appear to be a single cell? What? Indeed each. Next. Here, figure 6.1, male reproductive organs in humans. ये टेस्टिस हो गया, ये पेनिस हो गया, ये स्पर्म डक्ट हो गया. Got it? Sperm is a single cell with all the usual cell components. Figure 6.2, human sperm. ये सबसे आगे वाले जो भाग होते हैं उसको हेड कहते हैं, ये बीच वाले को मिडिल पीस कहते हैं, और सबसे पीछे वाले को टेल पूंछ कहते हैं। व्हाट पर्पज डज टेल इन अ स्पर्म सर्व? व्हाट? गॉट इट? ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जा रहा है। नेक्स्ट देखते हैं, फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स। द फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स आर अ पेयर ऑफ ओवरीज, ओविडक्ट्स, फैलोपियन ट्यूब्स। ओविडक्ट को क्या कहते हैं? फैलोपियन ट्यूब्स एंड द यूट्रस। फिगर 6.3 द ओवरी प्रोड्यूसेस। गॉट इट? यहाँ फिगर 6.3 में आप देख सकते हैं फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स इन ह्यूमंस। ये क्या है? ओवरी है। ये क्या है? ओविडक्ट है। ये क्या है? यूटिरस है। समझ रहे हो? तो इस चीज को ध्यान रखना है। ये फीमेल का है और पहले जो देखे वो मेल का था। गॉट इट? नेक्स्ट, फीमेल गेमेट्स कॉल्ड ओवा एग्स। फिगर 6.4 ह्यूमन ओवम। ये क्या है? न्यूक्लियस है। गॉट इट? इन ह्यूमन बीइंग अ सिंगल मैच्योर्ड एग इज रिलीज्ड इनटू द ओविडक्ट by one of the ovaries every month. Uterus is the part where development of the baby takes place, like the sperm. An egg is also a single cell. जो एग होते हैं वह भी क्या कहलाते हैं? सिंगल सेल कहलाते हैं। लाइक स्पर्म, स्पर्म के जैसे ही। नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे कहते हैं बुझो रिकॉल्स दैट द साइज ऑफ एग्स इन एनिमल्स वेरीज। द एग में बी वेरी स्मॉल एज इन ह्यूमंस, मच लार्जर एज इन हेन्स। ऑस्ट्रिक एग इज द लार्जेस्ट। व्हाट? नेक्स्ट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन। फर्टिलाइजेशन, the first step in the process of reproduction is the fusion of a sperm and an ovum. When a sperm come in contact with an egg, one of the sperms may fuse with the egg. Such fusion of the egg and the sperm is called fertilization. Figure 6.5. During fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single nucleus. This results in the formation of a fertilized egg or zygote. Figure 6.6 did. Got it? Figure 6.5 fertilization. Here sperm. Got it? ये क्या है? ovum. You know that the zygote is the beginning of a new individual. What? Here figure 6.6 zygote fusing nuclei. Got it? Next, the process of fertilization is the meeting of an egg cell from the mother and a sperm cell from the father. So the new individual inherits some characteristics from the mother and some from the father. Look at your brother or sister. See if you can recognize some characters in them similar to those of your mother or your father. Okay? Next, fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. जो फर्टिलाइजेशन होती है फीमेल के बॉडी के अंदर होती है उसको हम क्या कहेंगे? इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन कहेंगे. इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन अकर्स इन many animals including humans, cow, डॉग्स एंड हैंस। जो इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन होते हैं किस किस में होते हैं? ह्यूमंस में होते हैं, कॉ में होते हैं, डॉग्स में होते हैं एंड हैंस में होते हैं। गॉट इट? नेक्स्ट, हैव यू हियर्ड ऑफ टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबीज? व्हाट? बूझो एंड पहेली टीचर once them in the class that in some women oviducts are blocked. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for a few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization. Fertilization outside the body. Got it? In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then it is placed in the mother uterus. Complete development takes place in the uterus and the baby is born like any other baby. Got it? Babies born through this technique are called test tube babies. Got it? This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tubes. Okay? Next. You will be surprised to know that in many animals, fertilization takes place outside the body of the female. In these animals, fertilization takes place in water. Let us find out how this happens. Got it? Activity 6.1. Visit some ponds or slow flowing streams. During spring or rainy season, look out for clusters of frogs' eggs floating in water. Write down the color or size of the eggs. During spring or rainy season, frogs and toads move to ponds and slow flowing streams. When the male and female come together in water, the female lays hundreds of eggs. Unlike hen's egg, frog's egg is not covered by a shell and it is comparatively very delicate. Got it? A layer of jelly holds the eggs together and provides protection to the eggs. Got it? Figure 6.7. Got it? Next. As the eggs are laid, the male deposits sperm over them. Each sperm swims randomly in water with the help of its long tail. The sperms come in contact with the eggs. This results in fertilization. This type of fertilization, in which the fusion of a male and a female gamete takes place outside the body of the female, is called external fertilization. Got it? Next. It is very common in aquatic animals. ये एक्सटर्नल फर्टिलाइजेशन जो होते हैं ये जलीय जंतु में कॉमन दिखे जाते हैं, सच एज फिश, स्टार फिश एक्सेट्रा. गॉट इट? व्हाई डू फिश एंड फ्रॉग्स lay eggs in hundreds whereas a hen lay lays only one egg at a time. What? Through these animals lay hundreds of eggs and release millions of sperms. All the eggs do not get fertilized and develop into new individuals. This is because the eggs and sperms get exposed to water movement, wind, and rainfall also. There are other animals in the pond which may feed on eggs. Thus, production of large number of eggs and sperms is necessary to ensure fertilization of at least a few of them. Next, how could a single cell become such a big individual? Next, development of embryo. Fertilization results in the formation of zygote which begins to develop into an embryo. Figure 6.8a. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. Figure 6.8b. The cells then begin to form groups that develop into different tissues and organs of the body. This developing structure is termed an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. Figure 6.8c. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops body. Here, figure 6.8a, zygote formation and development of an embryo from the zygote. Got it? Next, B, ball of cells enlarged. C, embedding of the embryo in the uterus enlarged. Got it? आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये क्या है, यूट्रस है, ये एम्बेडिंग एम्ब्रियो है, ये क्या है, ओवरी है, ये क्या है, ओव्यूलेशन है, ये क्या है, जाइगोट है. गॉट इट? ये क्या है, डेवलपिंग एम्ब्रियो है, ये क्या है, यूट्रस वॉल्स. गॉट इट? तो इस चीज़ को ध्यान रखना है. पार्ट्स सच एज हैंड्स, लेग्स, हेड, आइज, ईयर्स, एक्सेट्रा. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be modified, identified, is called fetus. Figure 6.9. Fetus in the uterus. Got it? ये क्या है, यूट्रस. When the development of the fetus is complete, the mother gives birth to the baby. Got it? Internal fertilization takes place in hens also. But do hens give birth to babies like human being and cause what? You know that they do not. Then how are chicks born? What? Let us find out. Soon after fertilization, the zygote divides separately, repeatedly, and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard cells that you see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the eggs. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. You must have seen the hen sitting on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth. Did you know that development of the chicks takes place inside the egg cell during this period? What? After the chick is completely developed, it burst opens the egg cell. Next, in animals which undergo external fertilization, development of the embryo takes place outside the female body. The embryos continue to grow within their egg covering. After the embryos develop, the eggs hatch. You must have seen numerous tadpoles swimming in ponds and streams. Got it? Next, Viviparous and Oviparous animals. We have learned that some animals give birth to young ones, while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. The following activity will help you understand better and differentiate between viviparous and oviparous animals. Got it? Activity 6.2. Try to observe eggs of the following organism: frog, lizard, butterfly or moth, hen and crow or any other bird. Here you able to observe eggs of all of them. What? Make drawing of the eggs that you had observed. Next, the eggs of a few animals are easy to observe because their mothers lay them outside their bodies. These are examples of oviparous animals. But you would not be able to collect the eggs of a dog, cow or cat. This is because they do not lay eggs. The mother gives birth to the young ones. These are examples of viviparous animals. Got it? Can you now give some more example of viviparous and oviparous animals? Young ones to adults. The new individuals which are born or hatched from the eggs continue to grow till they become adults. In some animals, the young ones may look very different from the adults. The life cycle of frog is shown in figure 6.10. ये फ्रॉग का जो है मेढक का लाइफ साइकिल है. गॉट इट? पहले क्या स्थिति रहती है, फिर उसके बाद क्या स्थिति रहती है, उसके बाद क्या स्थिति रहती है, फिर लास्ट में क्या स्थिति रहती है. आप इसको देख सकते हो. गॉट इट? और इसको ध्यान में रखना है. ऑब्जर्व द different stages of frog starting from the eggs to the adult stage. We find that There are three distinct stages, that is egg, then tadpole, larva, then adult. Okay? Don't the tadpoles look so different from the adults? What? Can you imagine that these tadpoles would someday become frogs? What? The tadpoles transform into adults capable of jumping and swimming. The transformation of the larva into an adult through drastic change is called metamorphosis. Got it? What about the change that we observe in our body as we grow? What? Do you think we too undergo metamorphosis? What? In human beings, body parts similar to those present in the adults are present from the time of birth. Next, figure 6.3, we will discuss about asexual reproduction. So far we have learned about reproduction in some familiar animals, but what about very small animals like hydra and microscopic organisms like amoeba? What? Do you know how them reproduce? Let us find out. Got it? Activity 6.3, get permanent slides of hydra, observe them using hands, lens or a microscope. Look out for any bugs from the parent body. Count the number of bugs that you see in different slides. Also, note the size of the bugs. Draw the diagram of hydra as you see it. Compare it with the figure 6.11. Here figure 6.11, budding in hydra. Got it? Next, in each hydra there may be one or more bugs. These bugs are the developing new individuals and they are called buds. Recall the presence of buds in yeast. In hydra, two the new individuals develop as outgrowths from a single parent. This type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. Since new individuals develop from the buds in hydra, this type of asexual reproduction is called budding. Got it? Another method of asexual reproduction is observed in the microscopic organism amoeba. Let us see how this happens. You have already learnt about the structure of amoeba. You will recall that amoeba is a single celled organism. Figure 6.12a. Got it? It begins the process of reproduction by the division of its nucleus into two nuclei. Figure 6.12b. This is followed by division by its body into two, each part receiving a nucleus. Figure 6.12c. Got it? Finally, two amoeba are produced from one parent amoeba. Figure 6.12d. This type of asexual यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो बाइनरी फिजन इन अमीबा फिगर 6.12 में हुआ है। गॉट इट। इसको आगे समझते हैं। रिप्रोडक्शन इन विच एन एनिमल reproduces by dividing into two individuals is called binary fission. Got it? Apart from budding and binary fission, there are other methods by which a single parent reproduces young ones. You will study about these in your higher classes. Got it? Here, a story of Dolly the clones. Got it? Cloning is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any other living part, or a complete organism. Cloning of an animal was successfully performed for the first time by Len Wilmot and his colleagues at the Roslin Institute of Edinburgh, Scotland. They successfully cloned a sheep named Dolly. Figure 6.13c. Got it? Dolly was born on 5th July 1996 and was the first mammal to be cloned. Got it? Next. During the process of cloning Dolly, a cell was collected from the mammary gland of a female fin Dorset sheep. Figure 6.13a. Simultaneously, an egg was obtained from a Scottish blackfish ewee. Figure 6.13b. The nucleus was removed from the egg. Then the nucleus of the mammary gland cell from the fin Dorset sheep was inserted into the egg of the Scottish blackfish ewee, whose nucleus had been removed. The egg thus produced was implanted into the Scottish blackfish ewee. Development of this egg flowed normally and finally Dolly was born. Through Dolly was given birth by the Scottish blackfish ewee. It was found to be absolutely identical to the fin Dorset sheep from which the nucleus was taken. Since the nucleus from the egg of the Scottish blackfish ewee was removed, Dolly did not show any character of the Scottish blackfish ewee. Dolly was a healthy clone of the Finny Dorset sheep and produced several offspring of her own through normal sexual means. Unfortunately, Dolly died on 14th February 2003 due to a certain lung disease. Got it? Next. Since Dolly, several attempts have been made to produce cloned mammals. However, many die before birth or die soon after birth. The cloned animals are many a times found to be born with severe abnormalities. Got it? Now we will discuss about what you have learned. There are two modes by which animals reproduce. These are first sexual reproduction and second asexual reproduction. Second, reproduction resulting from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Next, the reproductive organs in the female include ovary, oviduct, and uterus. Got it? Next, the reproductive organs in male include testis, sperm, ducts, and penis. Got it? Next, the ovary produces female gametes called ova, and the testis produce male gametes called sperm. Got it? Next, the fusion of ovum and sperm is called fertilization. The fertilized egg is called a zygote. Next, fertilization that takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. This is observed in human beings and other animals such as hens, cows, and dogs. Next, fertilization that takes place outside the female body is called external fertilization. This is observed in frogs, fish, starfish, etc. Next, the zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to an embryo. Next, the embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. Next, the stage of the embryo in which all the body parts are identifiable is called fetus. Okay, next, animals such as human beings, cow, and dogs which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Got it? Next, animals such as hen, frog, lizard, and butterfly which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. Okay, next, the transformation of the larva into adult through drastic change is called metamorphosis. Okay, next, the type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. Next, in hydra, new individuals develop from buds. This method of asexual reproduction is called budding. Next or last, amoeba reproduces by dividing itself into two. This type of asexual reproduction is called binary fission. Here some important keywords, you can go through it self. Got it? So thank you friends, hope you will learn something new. So here is my end of this class. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.